What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is a very interesting one because I'm going to be reacting to someone reacting to me. A very cool thing happened recently. DJ Pain did a video where in that video he was talking about my beat selling journey and the sort of content I've been doing on this channel for the past year. The reason why this is such a cool thing is because when I was learning how to sell beats and stuff, DJ Pain was actually one of the YouTube channels that I was watching religiously, trying to find out anything I could about beat selling and how to market your beats, how to sell beats, and how this whole business operates. So for him to actually use me as an example in one of his videos and to compliment what I've been doing in the past year is something that I'm very grateful for, and I do thank DJ Pain for the shout out. And after watching the video for myself, there's a couple things I wanted to expound on further because, as you know, I'm always as transparent as I can be on this channel. So DJ Pain made some very good points and observations about what it is that I do, but I want to further expand on them so you get full clarity on what this video was about, and hopefully learn a few more things about what it is I've been doing in the past year and how you can apply this to your own beat selling. And also, by the way, if you are new to the channel, smash that subscribe button right now, as it is the best way to support the channel. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's see what DJ Pain has to say. Okay, so this video was originally 26 minutes long. I've got it down to 7 minutes, so hopefully this won't be too much of a drag. But basically, just going to play it from the start, and I'm going to just pause it at points of interest where I can elaborate on things that he has said. So yeah, let's get into the video.
But let's look at another producer story. This is a producer I've never even heard of. I've never seen their channel. YouTube is suggesting me all these new producer channels. I don't know why. But this dude, and he's British, takes us through... Why did I say that? That's not relevant. He takes us through his beat selling journey. And he's still very early in his beat selling journey. And I want to see what he did and if I can add anything to the conversation.
Yeah, so as I've been saying in my videos, like, I've only been selling beats for a year, which in the grand scheme of things isn't actually a long time. So if you're someone who's just got into selling beats in a couple of months, you're not getting any sales, just really understand that these things do take time. I definitely, like, my mindset at the moment is I'm nowhere near where I want to be as a beat seller. There's still a long way to go yet. And again, only just over a year in, and I'm doing better than I thought I would after a year. So that's really good. But again, still a lot of growth to be had, and all the top beat sellers, they've been going for years, so keep that in mind.
Headphones on. His name is Joe Gautry, and he's a smaller channel.
This time last year, to the date of recording this video, I started selling beats on BeatStars.
Oh, he's got the SSL. I just got that. Shout out to Memory. What is that other thing? What's that shiny red thing he has? Someone...
Yeah, so the SSL, I got that recently. This has been a really good interface for me. I absolutely love it. I haven't looked back since, because I purchased the Shure SM7B microphone that you're listening to my voice through now. And, you know, dynamic microphone, so it needs a lot of gain in order to work properly and get the best out of it. And so I've also purchased a preamp, which he was talking about, the red box. This is the Golden Age Project Pre-73 Mark III preamp, vintage preamplifier rather. And one of the best purchases ever made. I was recommended this by a producing friend, and I haven't looked back since. This microphone and this preamp has been the perfect combination for any vocal or vocal production work I've been doing.
Leave a comment. I don't know what that is. It looks cool though. Okay, so let's notice that he is making Sam Smith type beats, acoustic pop ballads. He's clearly making something that he enjoys making, because that's not what is typical, I think, of what producers think of when they consider jumping into the...
Okay, so yeah, the interesting point is, so he's right about that, the fact a lot of the beats I do because I enjoy the genre, but, you know, a lot of the decisions I've made in the past year about the sort of beats I've been making has been one of them what's best for business kind of things. So you may have seen in previous videos that I like to analyze the data of beats I make, what beats are selling, what beats are getting the most free downloads, what gets the most views, and on the flip spectrum, what gets the least amount of views, what's getting the least amount of traction. And over the past year, it's about a year and 3 months, I've slowly been adjusting the type of like subgenres that I'm producing in, depending on what's getting me personally the best results. So what these sorts of genres, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean it works for someone else, but just for me and my own experience in selling beats, these are the beats that have been doing well for me. And I was never going to do beats I don't enjoy. So yes, I really do enjoy making these sorts. I do like productions which have feeling behind them, so it's easy to do acoustic and like ballad pop. Sam Smith, this is the only Sam Smith type beat I've made to date, but you know, it fits into the subgenres that I make, mainly synth pop, acoustic pop, a little bit of indie and piano ballads. That's the main niches that I'm doing.
Online beat leasing space.
And I've uploaded 222 tracks.
Okay, so he's dedicated. 222 tracks is a lot in a year. I'm sure he had a back catalog, but even if he did, that's a good number.
Okay, so full disclaimer on this. I had a back catalogue, I would say, of about 20 beats when I started. I was a music artist before this. I always wanted to be a music producer, but problem is, leaving uni, I didn't have a lot of experience. And, when I was trying to get a job in the studio at the time, because I thought that was the career path I needed to take, I thought I need to be producing a lot, so I made a lot of songs, and I never released, about 80% of them. So I had all these productions sitting on my hard drive, and I always wanted to find a way to, monetize or sell them. And at the time when I was doing freelance music production as well, the catalog was only growing. So when it came to deciding that I was going to start selling beats, I had this nice little catalog on my hard drive. So yes, I did have a little bit of back catalog, but mainly the routine I get myself into is I make a beat on the day and I upload it the same day, especially, for the past year, that's been the case. So any beat that you see pop up on my beat store, I've probably made it the same day or maybe the day before on a rare occasion.
Clearly, this guy is exceptional in his productivity, because a lot of producers aren't prepared for that kind of output. I'm not saying you need that kind of output. I'm not saying you need to make a beat or two a day the way I do.
But the free fund, yeah, and a lot of it comes down to the fact as well. Like, there's no sort of, you must upload this many sort of beats a day. You must be this consistent, because at the end of the day, I'm very blessed with the fact that I get 5 days in the week to make beats, because I've been, for the past 7 years, on the grind to become a full-time freelance music producer. And there have been times where I've had a part-time job. I've had a full-time 5-day-a-week job. Then I've gone down to a 4-day-a-week job. And then I went down to 2-day-a-week job as I started to earn more as a freelance music producer. And thankfully, I'm now at the stage where I have now recently relocated and I'm now full-time freelance music producer. And again, I always feel so blessed for how it's turned out, because I didn't think this would happen for another 3 to 4 years, but I'm just extremely dedicated and I work really hard. I do. I will say I do work very hard. I'm not a lazy person. It's not to say anyone who hasn't had any success with beat selling is like lazy, but I'm the sort of person, if I get something in my head that I want to do, I go all out on it and I just don't stop, even if it takes, a year, 2 year. I'm on a 10-year plan with music production, so I was going to review at 30 if this is still feasible for me to continue doing music, because 30 is the age where you got to think about other things, like maybe like starting a family and stuff. So yeah, like I've actually still got 4 years to decide whether this is the career for me, and I'm doing okay so far. So yeah, that's interesting. Fundamentals, you got to understand the 3 most important things about being a decent beat seller is quality, quantity, and consistency.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you for saying that, because there's that silly conversation where a lot of people will say quality and quantity cannot coexist, and they absolutely can.
So I had to almost challenge myself to upload 200 beats to try and get better. So not every beat I uploaded was my best work. But
I'm glad he said that too. I'm sorry, I'm pausing again. I'm glad he said that too, because even if you're making beats that aren't necessarily great, maybe your first 10 aren't as good as the last 10 you've made. But one, art is subjective. There are people who will love those first 10 beats, even if you don't necessarily love them. And in addition, that 222 beat journey will teach you a lot about your process. It will help you streamline your process. It will help you become more efficient. It will help you become more effective as a producer.
So one of the biggest goals for me, and part of the reason why I've been able to churn out so many beats, is because I'm not trying to, be the best music producer in the world. In my head, I want to be more likely one of the most efficient at what I do. So, it's really hard to always produce your best work every time. And that's something I've got in my head, because going back to probably the best example I give is the Ed Sheeran quote, where basically how he got so good at songwriting was writing 100 bad songs and then you get one good song out of 100. And when you apply that mentality to beat making, especially in the early stages, if you start making beats, when you're making that back catalogue, you really learn so much about yourself, how you produce, and in this past year has been amazing for me on a personal level as a music producer, because I've really learned and I've almost mastered how I personally produce and what my workflow is and how I start and structuring beats. And it's just literally got me to a stage which no, production courses or university degree could have taught me. It's just learning about myself and how I personally produce, because everyone, has different things which make them tick. Different ways to produce, different passions, and definitely just doing what you love every day. Practicing is the best way to become a better producer. And the one thing that I'll quickly say in the Airbit versus BeatStars argument, BeatStars definitely has the better reach.
I wonder too if the fact that he uploaded 145 beats in such a short period of time, rather than staggering them, because this was October. This was, from October to now. That's not very long to drop 145 beats, so maybe that cadence was a little too quick.
Always emphasize. Yeah, it was. I completely agree with him. The only reason why I'm stacking the uploads on Airbit is because I'm trying to get every beat monetized on YouTube, because Airbit has very good YouTube monetization features, and one of my biggest marketing strategies is the free for non-profit, getting artists to download a beat for free, write over it, and then come back and purchase it. So I need that YouTube monetization to be able to almost police people using the beat for free for non-profit, because if there's no way of policing that, people could just go and upload it. So that's why I'm stacking them, to try and get it. And I'm still not caught up yet. It takes such a long process uploading beats to Airbit. But, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Airbit isn't the be-all end-all, so I don't matter so much about this, lack of views on Airbit. Using the free downloads for non-profit use. The reason that is because then that's how you can capture email addresses, because you can offer a free beat for an email sign-up. So that's how you can target people, because the one thing I've always understood now from selling beats for a year is someone isn't going to buy a beat after listening to it once. They're going to want to write over it. They're going to want to mull over it and see if that's the song for them and if they vibe it. So that's why you can get so many streams on a song but no purchases, because I feel like people who messaged me in the past year asking why they're getting loads of views but they're not getting any beat sales, I will take a look at their beat store, and sometimes just to react to myself for a second, which is really weird, I know. I can't emphasize enough that if you're not allowing a free download of some sort for your beats, even if it's with a tag, you're really missing a trick, because you really should be encouraging artists to write of your beats. I think I probably not going to say any more, actually, because I go into this in more detail in a second, but yeah. Let's listen to this first. There's little to no free downloads happening for beats. Maybe they don't have free download enabled, or they do, but there's no free downloads happening, which makes you think it's not necessarily that people don't want to download the beat, but you're not encouraging them to, giving them an incentive to.
A lot of producers have great beats, they have good traffic, and they're making no sales because they are not incentivizing sales. They're not keeping in contact with people who engage with their beats, and they're just not collecting any sort of customer 100%. Data. So watch this. I guarantee you he's going to give away the trick, and it's something really obvious.
It's not really a trick. It is, well, you could do a video on it saying it's a gem, or as Heat love to say, to get beat sales, but it's really it's not so much a secret. It's just the whole, how you incentivize people and start looking as an artist as a potential customer and your beat store as a business, that whole mindset. It's almost for me, marketing is the most important part of beat selling, more so than actually making the beats itself. Of uploading beats, this is February to April.
This is why people give up, because they see that.
June to July really started to pick up. Yeah, I will quickly touch on that as well. $50 in my first 3 months of selling beats. If I hadn't done all the research before to sort of understand the market, and how an actual beat store grows, I probably would have stopped selling beats after 3 months, and this channel probably never would have, you're watching this video from, would ever be about beat making at all, and I wouldn't have started this, beat selling vlog journey, or thinking that there was something to this. I completely understand why people get put off. It's a lot of work put in, and you feel like you're getting nothing back for it. So in the early stages, really just try and do it because you enjoy it, and just, have that sort of business mindset in the back of your mind that this is long term. Most businesses don't even turn over a profit or break even in their first year, but people are still making businesses or multiple businesses every single day. So there's something to this. And all of this still is on the marketplace. There's no pro page. I hadn't set up my website yet, and my website would be the purple, because that's the Blaze players stats and pro.
That's interesting. That shows you how important SEO is within BeatStars. Random people are searching just the BeatStars website to purchase beats. They are.
It goes beyond BeatStars as well. You got Google search traffic, you got SEO on YouTube, you got SEO even on Instagram, like everywhere. Every sort of platform with a search engine, there's SEO and there's a chance to rank higher. You know, people are searching beats or might accidentally come across your beats. It's always good to stay optimized across every single platform that you're on.
I talked about using all the different options on BeatStars. Use the SEO, use the keywords, use playlists, use albums. All that stuff is searchable.
If I'm being honest, I could probably actually be better at using playlists and albums. That's something I don't do, and that is one of the opportunities which I still have to do to expand my beat store. So yeah, huge period. You can see $1,300 worth of beats, but I did a Black Friday sale, so that means there was a heavy discount this month, so I could have actually made this much.
Just pay attention. He's being really subtle and humble about everything, but pay attention to all of the tiny details. He's doing everything right. I don't know what his background is. It might be in marketing. Maybe he's watched a bunch of videos on YouTube.
So my background, this is actually a really interesting one. I wanted to actually do a video on this because I've been doing this YouTube channel for a couple of years, and I've talked a lot about earning money as a freelance music producer, marketing music, and obviously this beat selling stuff. But my background, you'd be quite surprised, is probably not that dissimilar to anyone else, other than the fact that I call myself a serial learner because I just always want to learn more from a business point of view. And like, even though I love music production, I've always been surrounded by, I've got family members who own businesses and they've taught me a lot about how to run a business. I did business studies at college and I absolutely loved it, and I always wanted to own my own business. So I'd always like watch it, even if it was just someone talking on TikTok about business or money or marketing, watching YouTube videos. I've actually read a couple of books on marketing, on money, and on customer behaviors, and it's just literally a combination of everything I've learned over the years, just trying to compile it together and then put it into place for this beat selling and treat this beat selling as a business, because that you really should treat your beat store as a business, because it is you're making a physical product and you're trying to sell it in a market to a consumer of a target demographic. There's just so much that goes into it, and I can understand if you're someone with only a background in music, it can be hard or seem a bit daunting to try and have to learn all this new information. So I learn most of my information just before bed watching YouTube videos nowadays, but I love to see what other people are doing and see how can I do what they're doing but change it up. How can I identify a niche, or how can I do what they're doing but better? It's all these sorts of things. I'm going to do a whole video on it because there will be so much to talk about.
Of online beat selling.
It's a very different story. I actually only did one. This is about my month of December. Yeah, I think just one.
December is tough because of the holidays. It's just a tough month.
Sale in the whole of December, $15. But it was Christmas. Everyone, probably calming down. Yeah, the beat selling can actually be very seasonal because you got to think about the behaviors of people. Like December, I only uploaded 5 or 6 beats, as I think I said or I'm going to say in this video, because I was moving house, as I also said in this video. And I just I winded down towards the end of the year because I've been doing a ridiculous amount of work. And, sometimes it's good to unwind even if the momentum's there. And, everyone's out buying gifts. No one really has any money. I certainly don't have much money in December because I'm like buying gifts and stuff. So, yeah, like it's interesting. December wasn't the best month, but I didn't mind because there were so many factors that went into it. And I was moving house at this point, so I didn't do any sort of marketing
British people have such an interesting way of saying things. Moving house.
Whole month. I actually didn't upload that many beats. I think I only uploaded like 5-6 beats in December. So in terms of custom beat sales, I've actually made $650 this year.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. Another gem. Return customers, loyal customers, giving customers the best, doing everything possible to give customers the best experience so they come back. Producers, we can't be transactional about this stuff. Some people are going to come and buy that one beat and you'll never hear from them again. But take it from me, if you can get 2, 3, 4, 5 loyal customers, that you give a good experience to, who are serious artists, who have maybe investors, they have good jobs, they're investing in their music careers consistently, that stuff is going to be the foundation of your revenue model, and it's really going to help you. This is a smart dude.
Yeah, so bang on. So I probably, from the first year and a bit of selling beats, I probably have, if I'm being completely honest, about 4 to 5 proper loyal customers at this point. And for one for example, this person, they once a month will go onto my website, which I made, and they will probably buy about, I don't know, even between 5 and 10 basic licenses, and there'll be a bulk deal for it, but that's literally one transaction that I always expect every single month, and it's really nice. It's sort of like that little comfort, and they love it. Like, they sent me so many nice messages saying they wouldn't shop anywhere else, and that goes back into the whole, not only the beat catalog, but not just trying to sell them, but start to build a relationship with them. I'm always giving this person discounts, giving them further discounts. And you might be thinking, well, if they're going to be coming back every month, why do you keep giving them more money off? You're going to be earning less. Well, it's because, again, it's building that relationship, building that trust, really trying to almost make it feel like you're doing a favor for them, because you are. At the end of the day, I got into making music because I wanted to, make music that could be shared, it could be written over, someone could be creative with. So I get a real buzz in a sense when someone buys a beat, even if it's just a $20 basic license. And yeah, custom beat making as well is the really big money earner. If you need to really figure out a way to implement custom beat making into your beat stores, because there's a real untapped potential of money earning to be made from that.
I'm going to actually cut it off there because it's just really long. But check him out. Joe Gautry Music is his YouTube channel. And I imagine he's going to continue updating us on his journey.
Indeed we are. We're on the $10,000 beat selling challenge for this year. There's a new vlog coming this week, and it's a very exciting one because we've had a very, very, very good week. So I'm excited to share that with you. And there's some new gems, as always, to share with you in that video. But again, that's the whole point I started this channel, because when I was looking for YouTube, when I first started trying to get that valuable knowledge to sell beats, I found there was a lack of it from, the start, or how to actually start. A lot of the information, to get that information, you have to purchase an online course. So I just thought, hey, I'm just going to have myself up on YouTube as a guinea pig, and I'm just going to try this. So I'm so glad it didn't go shockingly wrong and I've actually made some sales, because if I'd done this beat selling journey and got no sales, it wouldn't have been a very good watching experience for you guys. So I'm glad it's kind of worked out to an extent, but there's still a lot more work to be done. What I'm doing, I'm not doing it perfectly. There's still mistakes that I'm making along the way. There's still things I'm learning as I go along, and the market's constantly changing. What works today might not work tomorrow. It's just how it is. It's business, but we love it.
Aside from being full of a lot of really helpful tips for producers who are trying to make their first sale or their first $1,000 off of selling beats online, what I really like about this video is the fact that so many producers are getting bombarded with this narrative that selling beats online is too saturated, it's impossible, it's dead. If it's so impossible, how did this guy experience this much organic growth and financial gain?
So if I was to really tell you, I hate trying to play the narrative that I'm this really successful beat seller, because there's still so much I need to do. I could be earning so much more than I am now. There are beat sellers doing better than me. Again, this is just the thing that I'm just documenting. But one thing I will say, for how I've been able to make the money I've made personally from beat selling, has been fundamentally down to being consistent, to identifying a niche, and listening to the data. I think they're the three things which are... Oh, and if the fourth one is marketing. Again, marketing is the most important. I can't stress enough how important marketing is. It's just, business doesn't do anything without marketing. But the consistency, obviously, you just need to find the pattern that works for you and stick to it, because that's how you grow a business. And when it comes to finding a niche, that plays into the whole thing about saturation. A market is only saturated if it's overdone. But there's always opportunities to be identified in saturated markets, because if something's become saturated, that means that no one has changed things up. So you've just got to identify what that opportunity is in a saturated market. So, don't be a sheep, don't follow the trends always. So try and figure out how you can have your own spin on a very, a very popular market.
In just a matter of a few months. For now, Hope this inspires you. Shout out to Joe for the content. Till next time. Peace.
Yeah. And I mean, if I had any final thing to add to that, I do think that, you know, from what I've showed you, I hope it was like the realist, the most transparent way I could have done it in that video. I do wish I could have done that video again. And I do hate listening to myself speak, really do. But one thing I want to emphasize is how long it did take to get me to the stage where I'm earning over $1,000 a month selling beats. It's taken a lot of work. I haven't been lucky. I haven't got one beat which is taken off. I've just literally done it through pure determination to just keep uploading, identifying the niche, and slightly subtly adjusting and changing things up to, you know, maximize the amount of views I can get realistically. So yeah, there's been a lot into it, and I've covered all this in other videos. So, you know, like I've created a playlist which I'll leave at the end of this video to link, where you can check out the beat selling vlogs, especially because I tried to be as transparent as possible about it. But again, this is just crazy because this guy, DJ Payne, I was watching his videos before I started, and now we're here. So I like to think that means I've done something right in the past year.
So yeah, guys, that is the reaction video for today. Again, I just want to say a massive thank you for DJ Payne for having me in his last video. And if you want to watch the full video that he did, I will leave the link in the description below so you can go watch that, and also subscribe to him if you're not already. But being such a big presence on YouTube that he is, I would be very surprised if you're not subscribed to him already, if this is the sort of videos you're interested in. There is another vlog coming this week, and it's a very exciting one because we've had a very good week for beat selling, and there is a lot of useful information that I want to pass on to you. So stick around for later in the week for that video. But till then, guys, keep going, keep it on the grind, keep making music, and I will see you in the next video.